As time went by, almost all geniuses who left the strange little world appeared on the square. Currently, there were 542 people officially appointed as the Dragon Envoy of Carlton, and 1,470 candidates became the Carlton Guards. Fewer and fewer people were sent to the respective areas. Some super-region elders could no longer stay calm.
Damn. Where are the geniuses from our mad fighting region? Even if they couldn't pass the final challenge, they could at least be appointed as the Dragon Envoy of Carlton.
I wonder the same about our Eternal Sect region too. Why are there only a few who became the Dragon Envoy of Carlton?
Where is Adam Carlson?
A middle-aged woman from the Jade Lady Palace was equally surprised. These three, especially Adam Carlson, Walrus Holt, and Iris Smith, were extremely talented. Even if they could not pass the final challenge to be qualified as the Dragon Envoy of Newland, they could at least be appointed as the Dragon Envoy of Carlton. Yet these three were nowhere to be seen even in the Carlton Guards area, let alone the Dragon Envoy of Carlton. In the past, at least dozens of candidates from these three regions and the topmost city were appointed as the Dragon Envoy of Carlton. However, there were only a few of them now. Meanwhile, the strongest candidates from those areas were nowhere to be seen. The elders were shocked about that. Right then, a ray of light appeared on the battle arenas, showing a blurry figure.
Look, there's someone in the battle arena. It must be someone who passed the final challenge and is qualified to fight for the Dragon Envoy of Newland's qualification.
Someone in the crowd shouted. Immediately, everyone fixed their gazes on that figure. That figure had several Guna spirit-eating insects swimming on his body. He wore a Deno Valley robe. He was none other than Paulson Colt.
The Deno Valley actually participated in the Dragon Envoy of Carlton selection, and they're the first to pass the last challenge.
Ha 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 ha. He is Paulson Colt from our Deno Valley. I guess our plan worked.
Sure enough, some among the crowd were thrilled and some were not. Paulson Colt glanced around and saw that he was the only person standing in the battle arena. His eyes lit up.
Those losers are not here. Are they still working inside, or did they fail the challenge? They're such losers. I will surely become the Dragon Envoy of Newland this time. Whoever dares to fight with me over that should probably think twice.
Later, several figures appeared in the battle arena. They were all top geniuses from the super regions. Immediately, the elders of these respective super regions were thrilled and beamed at that. As time passed by, two dark green lights flickered and out stepped two figures.
Wait, aren't that Alex Harper and Arthur Conan? Am I seeing things?
Leo King slapped himself across the face. After sensing the tingling pain in his cheek, he immediately laughed heartily.
Damn it. They are from our Amor Mountains. There are two of them.
He pointed at Dante Kane and Ethan Haddon as he screamed excitedly. Leo King did not think Amor Mountains, a minor area, could have a representative pass the final challenge. Moreover, there were two of them. Instantly, an uproar broke out at the surrounding stands.
What? The Amor Mountains? Someone from the Amor Mountains passed the final challenge? No way! I can't believe this.
I don't believe this either.
People exclaimed in shock and felt their scalps go numb. They knew Leo King would not lie about that. Henry Miles's gaze turned ferocious. He looked as though he could swallow someone alive due to his enormous anger.
In addition to these two, the Amor Mountains already had 3 representatives appointed as the Dragon Envoy of Carlton. What about the Devil Repressed Abyss? There was not one living candidate from the Devil Repressed Abyss that showed up in the battle arenas. Not even a single one.
Henry Miles was so angry that blood flowed out of the corner of his mouth. He almost passed out. Meanwhile, in the Sea of Flames, Zane Martell stared at it and seemed to have mastered something. He felt traces of fire elements dancing around his fingertips like a mischievous fire spirit. Although Zane Martell had not mastered the power of fire, it was no stranger to him. Zane Martell grabbed the void with one hand. The divine bow mark on the back of his hand lit up. Then, the divine bow with a destructive aura appeared in his hand. Streaks of golden and red flames rose on the surface of the divine bow. Zane Martell did not know much before this, but he knew better now. The flame on the divine bow was the 9 genuine flame and the Deca source of fire. The Deca source of fire was a completely new level of the power of fire. It was more than 10 times more powerful than the power of fire. It probably did not devour Zane Martell because Zane Martell was the owner of the divine bow, which was why he was immune to it.
Once I master the Deca Source of Fire, I can refine the 9 genuine flame on the bow.
Zane Martell's eyes lit up. Suddenly, at that moment, Zane Martell seemed to comprehend the truth of the power of nature.
I got it! I got it now!
Zane Martell was delighted. Behind him, the huge hourglass burst open and once again condensed into the elderly man's figure. He smiled at Zane Martell.
Congratulations on passing the last challenge. I'll send you out now. I hope you can become the Dragon Envoy of Newland.
The elderly man waved a hand, enveloping Zane Martell with his vital energy. The next moment, Zane Martell kept away his divine bow as his surroundings changed. Zane Martell appeared in the battle arena. All 4 sides of the stands were packed with people. As soon as Victor Quinn saw Zane Martell, he immediately smiled and waved at Zane Martell. Naturally, Leo King was attracted by Victor Quinn's reaction. Upon seeing Zane Martell, he widened his eyes and couldn't help trembling all over. Leo King's blood vessels bulged. He spat out a mouthful of blood.
Damn it, Leo King, your blood is all over me.
Henry Miles hurriedly wiped the blood on him and frowned. He could not help mocking Leo King.
Leo King, why are you overreacting? Are you not used to seeing your disciples being appointed as the Dragon Envoy of Carlton? Do you have to be so excited? Be careful of a hemorrhage, or do you already have one now?
Although Henry Miles looked calm, he was overwhelmed by jealousy at that moment. An ordinary Dragon Envoy of Carlton was nowhere comparable to a Dragon Envoy of Carlton who passed the final challenge. Moreover, the Devil-repressed Abyss did not even have a representative selected as the Carlton Guard. He was in no place to judge someone. Many people around him knew Henry Miles was only saying that out of jealousy.
Leo King, what's wrong? Calm down a little. I know the Amor Mountains have 2 disciples in the final round. Shouldn't you have anticipated this long ago?
A leading elder from another minor region sitting next to Leo King comforted him. However, Leo King was too excited to speak. His fingers trembled as he pointed at Zane Martell. The person next to him looked at Zane Martell and was unfazed.
He is a handsome genius. What's the matter? Are you interested in handsome men?
He didn't seem to understand Leo King's reaction. Leo King's expression turned grim, and he swallowed back the blood inside his mouth. He waved his hands frantically.
Stop that nonsense. I was saying this. This guy is Zane Martell, and he's from our Amor Mountains.
Upon hearing Leo King's words, the leading elder had something flickering in his eyes, but he said disappointedly,
"Oh, I see."
But as he sat back in his seat, he suddenly realized something was amiss. He immediately flew into a rage. He grabbed Leo King by the collar and pulled the latter up from his seat. Anger rose within his eyes.
What? What did you say? Can you repeat that?
He's Zane Martell and from our Amor Mountains.
Leo King repeated his words. Leo King's sentence was brief, but it was like a bolt of lightning that struck everyone else. Even the elders of the Carlton Dragon Palace branch in the Tranquil Sea region felt rather uneasy at that. The Amor Mountains. Was Zane Martell representing the Amor Mountains? How was that possible? A remote place like the Amor Mountains actually had 3 representatives to fight for the Dragon Envoy of Newland. It sounded impossible, no matter how one tried to process that information.
Leo King, that's too much. I know you want to brag about your region, but you can't lie about that.
Exactly. I thought you were an honest man before this. Yet you lied about something like that just to make your region sound powerful.
The elder who grabbed Leo King by the collar was Herritt Cole. He snarled at Leo King. Several others were mad at Leo King too. They were all driven by jealousy and hatred, and they wished to just beat up Leo King. But then someone raised a question at Zane Martell.
Hi there, are you really from the Amor Mountains like he claimed?
Yes.
Herritt Cole was speechless. Leo King remained silent. Everyone else did not know what to say. A dead and awkward silence until then Herritt Cole gently put down Leo King and softened his shirt as he said,
Leo King, I didn't mean that. All this while I think of you as a friend.
Yes, I think the same too.
I knew the Amor Mountains had countless talents among its disciples. You guys are the ones who refused to believe it.
Of course not. I believed in them before any of you did. Didn't you badmouth Leo King just now?
I did not.
Leo King laughed wryly. He finally understood how it felt to be surrounded by chameleons. As expected, the crowd would only be swayed once they saw their strength. On the contrary, most of them still could not believe their eyes. The Amor Mountains actually had 3 representatives passing the final challenge. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed this. Paulson Colt stared coldly at Zane Martell.
Zane Martell, how dare you show up? That dragon bone belongs to me. I'll get it from you.
Lord, he is Zane Martell.
He doesn't seem that powerful. Let's see if we can kill him without anyone noticing.
Another 10 minutes passed by. Some passed the challenges and were sent to their respective areas. In the end, an elderly rose to the sky and hovered above the battle arenas, announcing sternly,
"Now that all candidates are sent out of their challenges, we will proceed with the final round of selection of the Dragon Envoy of Carlton. Let's begin the selection of the Dragon Envoy of Newland now."
The elderly's man beard was long enough to reach his stomach. His beard fluttered in the wind, making him look like an immortal. He was the same old man who appeared when Zane Martell comprehended the power of fire. The elderly man's aura was like a cluster of stars, making it difficult for others to see through him. The terrifying pressure of vital energy on his body was faintly discernible.
Wait a minute. Elder, is there a mistake? No one from our devil-repressed abyss showed up. How could the challenges end now? Are you sure there's no mistake?
Henry Miles and the several elders from the devil-repressed abyss widened their eyes in shock. Their eyes were bloodshot. There was no living candidate from the devil-repressed abyss, not even one. They could never believe the nearly 600 disciples from the devil-repressed abyss had all died inside. Hearing that, the elder frowned and darkened his expression.
"What are you trying to say? Do you think I won't know if there's anyone still doing their challenges? As I said, all are sent out by now. If no one from the devil-repressed abyss showed up, it only means the devil-repressed abyss is not as powerful as other regions. You can't blame anyone if your disciples died in the strange little world. You should blame yourselves for not cultivating them into true geniuses."
The elder cursed coldly and unleashed a terrifying pressure that was like a boundless starry sky. Henry Miles and others from the devil-repressed abyss shivered. Although they could not believe their ears, they dared not say anything else. They could only blame their bad luck. The elder, with a sage-like demeanor, glanced at the number of candidates on the Dragon Envoy of Carlton's and Dragon Envoy of Newland's battle arenas, and he nodded in satisfaction.
Not bad. We have more candidates than in the past few years. Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Mr. Busher from the Fire Hall in the Tranquil Sea Region's branch of the Carlton Dragon Palace, and I am also your host for the final round in the Dragon Envoy of Carlton selection this time. The selection of the Dragon Envoy of Newland.
Everyone's expression became much more solemn when they heard about the Fire Hall. There were 5 halls in the Tranquil Sea Region branch. They belonged to the 5 elements: gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. The Fire Hall was naturally in charge of the fire element. To be able to become an elder of a hall, his level was at least in the Martial King level, which made him among the top martial artists in the entire Tranquil Sea Region.
Well, let's officially begin the final round of the Dragon Envoy of Carlton to officially appoint our Dragon Envoy of Newland now. All 17 candidates who advanced to the final round, please join me in the battle arena.
Zane Martell and the others stepped to the center of the battle arena and lined up in a row, facing Mr. Busher in the sky. Mr. Busher swept a glance over everyone, and his expression became more and more satisfied. He could not help but smile and nod. He was a little surprised to notice Dante Kane and Paulson Colt among the candidates.
These two have the strongest aura. I guess one of them will become our Dragon Envoy of Newland this time.
Then Mr. Busher announced,
"Although you all know what the Dragon Envoy of Newland identity means, I still wish to explain that. Please bear with me.